All right, guys, so welcome to your weekly Team Perseverance special featured call this week. It's super excited on this June 13th as we're in the middle of June as we have our weekly Team Perseverance team call. For any new coaches that are on, we always have new coaches on the team. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the Team Perseverance team call. I'm one of your upline Star Diamond coaches, but the founding coach of Team Perseverance. And this afternoon, I'm super excited for Scottie to be on this call. Somebody, guys, I have to say, I watched Scottie the last couple of years. As you guys know, my coach quit, and I needed a male mentor to follow, and Scottie's videos have helped me get to where I am today. And I was truly humbled to be able to speak on Scottie's call recently, and having him back in our call to hear him speak is just absolutely amazing. So I'm truly grateful. And guys, I think we're going to be into here a great message from Scottie of what he's accomplished and what he's going to share. So I have a couple quick announcements, guys, to go over, and then some quick recognition like we always do. As you guys know, our challenge groups ended this past week. As you know, we run them as a team, so they ended this last week with all of the groups as a whole. And our new challenge groups in Touch Base with Your Upline Diamond will be starting 1 week from today. The third Monday of every month we start. So make sure you are following up with your current challenges, inviting them to be coaches, and you're ready for next week's challenge group for the beginning. It's going to be, I think it's the first day of summer on the 20th. So be ready for that. Second, I just want to let you guys know AMP, Advanced Mentorship Program Training, that push to diamond training we have is going very well. So for those of you that have asked and are interested, you want to get yourself to meet the qualifications to be an AMP and be with all the other Star Diamonds as we put some really great training together. It's going real well, and they're only through their first week. So I'm super excited about that. Next, Summit is coming up. Guys, it is not too late to get to Summit. I can't stress enough, like my income the first year I've said went up 700% after my first Summit. I had my AHA big thing at the Summit 2013. It's the place you want to be. It's what's going to propel your business. It's not too late. There's still hotel rooms available. So, and I know there was coaches on our team page right now that were in fact asking, my phone just went on, that's odd, asking for rooms, or if anybody had any rooms or availability. There are still rooms. There are coaches on our team looking for people to room up with. So don't forget that. Super Saturday, the quarterly event that runs every quarter, happens to be right after Summit, the following weekend of August 6th and 7th. And our Markets Council event, we're expecting probably like 350 people, is going to be on August 7th. So make sure you get your tickets soon. We're over 200 ticket sales, and it's going to sell out. All right, guys, last but not least, and most important, is quick recognition of the weak leg team volume. The people in Team Perseverance, the weak leg team leaders. So in the 300 club, we have Jessica Armstrong, Darlene Shamp, Devin Wheaton, Kristen Odell, Gregory Armstrong, Kimberly Ronaldson, Erin Darmody, Mike Della Sala, Maureen Garrett, Lindsay Kaufman, Laura Schiller, Rachel Rote, Angela McLaughlin. In the 500 club, Danielle Zito, Jay Fertiel, my wife's second CBC, Kelly Della Vecchia, Robin Reed, Gina Strecco, Mary Pasilia. Way to go, guys. In the 1,000 club, Tony Carlucci, Mike Holdman, Lindsay Medvin, Tara Richmond, Shannon Larice, Denise Brobson, Michelle Della Sala, and Elizabeth Mullenbrook. In the 2,000 club, my second CBC, Jeff Nolson and Jennifer Holdman. In the 3,000 club, Shanna Carlucci, Stacy Larice, Sharice Nolson. And in the 10,000 club, my wife and I. Guys, I always say success leaves clues. So if you heard a name here on our team, it is somebody that is building a team. Make sure you're following them, learning from them, looking at what they do to see if that, in fact, what they're doing to be successful. So in fact, you can be successful. Which leads me into me wanting to introduce Scottie. Because when I say success leaves clues, success leaves clues. Like one thing I remember with Scottie, a challenge he did was a 52 books in a year that he read, a 52 book challenge, 1 book a week, and he accomplished it. And he has had so many amazing things in his videos. And like I said, he's somebody I looked up to. So I want to just share what Scottie has accomplished in the business, guys. And it's just absolutely amazing. And he's just an amazing, amazing father in person. So he is a dad of 5. Yes, he has me beat by 2 more kids, and he has a baby right now. He's $1 million earner in Team Beachbody. He makes 7 figures a year yearly. He has Success Club 10, 62 months in a row. So you guys know All-Star Legends is 24 months, 62 months in a row at Success Club 10. He's been elite 4 times. He's an elite top 10 coach in 2013, being number 4 in the company. He's a 14-star diamond in his first business center, an 8-star diamond in his second business center, a diamond in his third business center, and I'll just go out and say it. He is the top male coach in the entire network today. He has 45,000 members, coaches on his team. He's a coach advisory board member, a CAM member who represents us, the network, and he's been a summit speaker 5 years in a row. So without further ado, I want to introduce to you Scottie Hobbs.
All right. Hey, I just got myself unmuted. I'm going to tell you guys, like, it's funny. I have these anxious feelings, and I used to think they were like fears, like before I spoke at summit events, before I get on a call. And it was funny. I was listening to some stuff from Tony Robbins, and I'm just, the way I speak and talk about it, I talk about what I'm going through and kind of help you guys understand that so you can relate it to your life and your business. So I have these feelings right now, like anxious. I'm listening to what David's saying, and he like puts this big pedestal for me to sit on. Now I'm like, okay, now I have to deliver something super amazing, which is my intent anyway. But one thing that I want you guys to know about your emotions and your feelings, like I'm feeling that, like, you know, my palms are sweaty, my heart rate's up, you know, I'm gulping, I just gulped right there. You get to put meaning to the feelings that you have. And a lot of us, when we have those feelings, let's say you're going to talk to someone about joining your challenge group, or you're going to talk to a coach. We give meaning to that feeling of fear. Like I'm scared, I'm anxious. You get to create meaning for every feeling that you feel, every sense that you have. So when I do it, what I do is when I feel that feeling, like whether you're shaking or your palms are sweaty, you're nervous, I put the meaning to that feeling that I'm excited about what I'm going to do. I'm excited about the opportunity that I have to present with you guys. So I'm going to say, I was going to talk about my grizzly bear experience, but I'm going to save that for Summit. So that's my plug for you guys, that you've got to get to Summit and you've got to listen to the talks there. But I had an experience where I faced like an 800-pound grizzly bear, my biggest fear in the world. And I talk about how I relate that to my journey as a Team Beachbody coach. And there's this recurring thought that I want to talk to you guys about that I've experienced with people. You know, when you're working with yourself first and foremost, and then working with other people, there's always like a distinguishing, there's a small little factor that sets apart the successful from the unsuccessful. And a lot of times it's a lot smaller than we think it is. Maybe we're thinking once again, we create stories like maybe David has got some secret like thing that he does, or some special skill that we don't know about. But one of the things is, guys, that reoccurs through my business, and when I see other people achieve amazing things in their business, you see, David talked about all these accolades, but for myself, you know, we have a personally sponsored 15-star diamond. We have a personally sponsored $1 million earner, and have a second $1 million earner coming up in July that are personally sponsored coaches of ours. So what sets apart myself and David and these people that I'm talking about, in one of the main things is consistency. And I'll lead into that, but one of the things that I think about oftentimes is I'm a person that I wonder sometimes, like, you know, I sit in my office, I spend time in the morning praying about my business and where I need to put my attention and my time. And I'm like, what do I need to do? What do I need to work with? Who do I need to work with? And as I'm thinking about those things and praying about those things, about where I need to put my time, I often have a recurring thought, like, and sometimes it's not the best wording that comes to my mind, but to me, it's like, why the heck, or sometimes it's another word, don't people stay consistent at something? Like, why aren't they, like, they say they want something, but they don't stay consistent at it? Now, is it a problem with discipline? Is it a problem with consistency? Like, what is that defining thing that makes somebody work for 2 weeks and stop for 2 weeks, or work for 6 months and have a life event come up and then they stop? And they stopped caring about what they said they were, that they believed in, and what they wanted to happen, and what they were committed to making happen. And so that's the thing that has always been in my mind. Like, why do they stop? And I guess I feel blessed and lucky that I have parents that taught me, like, when you do something, you do it right the first time. And when you start something, you finish it. So, I thought maybe it's me, like I've been taught that and I've had that my whole life. And I'm going to give you some small examples and then lead into what I found out, what I discovered about what keeps people from, why people aren't disciplined. And then maybe that'll help you take away something into your life so you can become a better person and a better coach to your team. So as some of you guys saw, I was playing pinball before I hopped on this call. I was playing on this pinball machine here. And I'll tell you, this may sound funny, but I've pushed the button on a pinball machine before, but never really played it. I don't know the rules. I don't know how it works. But we have this new home that we are experiencing for the first time, my family, this weekend. And so there's a pinball machine here. So I started playing. I don't know the rules. It's like making noises and these little challenges come up, and I'm just going. Like, I'm just playing and I'm having fun in the moment. And I got this score, and it was what I thought to be a pretty good score. And I was like, I'll play again. And I started playing again. And like, I start seeing things. I'm like, oh, it says shoot the motorcycle or something like that. And I'm like, so I'm looking at the board and I see there's a motorcycle. So I'm like, okay, maybe that means try to get the ball on the motorcycle. So I was just learning as I was going. I was having fun with that process. And then my wife comes along and she crushed my score her first time. Right. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I've been working on this thing for like 30 minutes and you just beat me your first time. So there's two little lessons on that, right? I'm having fun trying to learn something new. I'm not thinking I'm a failure every time the ball gets past me and goes into the hole and I got to start over. And I don't judge myself against my wife. I asked her, like, how are you so good at that? And she told me she used to play it when she was a kid at the university, right? So I can't judge my no experience against her prior experience, first of all. But isn't it true, like anything that we do in our life, I want you to think about something before we get started on this. Think about something in your life that you've gotten to be really good at. And I'll name a few of them that I'm good at, and you can think about the ones you're good at. And I want you to write them down unless you're driving. Like, I could play the guitar really well. I can draw pictures really well. I'm an artist. I can, trying to think, I can snowboard really well. I played in the Little League World Series, so I'm a really good baseball player. Okay, so I think about those things. Now, if I think back to how did I get good at those things, I want you to think about the things that you wrote down. How did you get good at those things? And I can guarantee you that you sucked extremely bad at them when you started. Like, the first time I picked up a guitar and turned on the electric amp, I'm sure the whole neighborhood hated me. But now they'll pay and buy tickets to come to a show and watch us play. But guys, know how long I've been playing the guitar? 20 years. 20 years. You want to know something else? I also had a dream of being a rock star and having an album when I was 14 years old. You know how old it was when when we got our first album out on iTunes? 32. Right? So I want you to think about that. And the one thing that I want you guys to know is I played guitar those entire 20 years. And I played in multiple different bands until we found out what worked, right? Until we found our magic that would work. So the same thing goes with anything that I've done. It took time. It took working on the skills every single day. And it took working through for the long run, right? Not just trying it for a little bit, but continually working on that passion. And I'll tell you what, I'd still be playing guitar and in a band, even if that goal hadn't been hit yet. Of the album, I would still be trying to write music and find our voice or our sound that people would enjoy. So that's the one thing I want you guys to think about as we lead into this topic. The things that you're good at, how much time did you put into it? How much effort did you put into it to become good at it? And then obviously you guys are on a call right now with Team Beachbody and training for Team Beachbody to become a better coach and a better mentor to others. Are you putting that same amount of passion, effort, drive, consistency into your business as you did to be, good at piano or good at singing or good at whatever your career is? I have multiple doctors and lawyers on our team that went to school for 10 years and to get their degree to hopefully have a good job, right? So it's just helping them understand, like, you say you want Beachbody to be your full-time income. Are you putting the same amount of effort and energy into it as you did into law school, right? And just helping connect those pieces of it's being consistent at the activity and learning and growing and going through the process through the time. So I used to always struggle with that fact of why aren't people consistent? right, at Team, and specifically talking about Team Beachbody and their goals and what they say they want out of the business. And what I found out is that it's not a lack of consistency or discipline. It's a lack of purpose. So I want you to write that down. If you're not consistent or you start and stop all the time, it's because you don't know what your purpose is or you're not clear on your purpose. So we're going to talk about that. So I started my journey. I want you guys to understand a little bit about me and my consistency, so you can understand what it takes. I was I won't give you the whole backstory, but I became a drug addict in my early 20s after serving a mission for my church. So I had all these feelings of guilt and shame of being this missionary, helping people, change their lives, to then being a drug addict. And I lived at a point in one point in my life in Orem, Utah. I slept in a sleeping bag on a floor in a shared room with 3 other guys for $20 a month. I roofed on the side for some money under the table for a guy, and I was drinking eggnog and vodka every day on the roof. That was my life. And I came home to my little house, and I literally had to step over pit bull crap in the hall to get to my room. And it was just like probably one of the worst you could be. And so I lived that life at one time. And luckily, thanks to a friend who's now a diamond coach on my team, a complete stranger who met me on the street and would just share a smile and asked a little about me and invited me to his house and made me some dinner and gave me some clothes. I made this friend named Junior Medina from Venezuela. And like I said, he's now a diamond on our team. But he did what every single one of us coaches should do every single day, which is be a friend to people, ask them if they're happy, and ask them how they can help. And that's what he did to me. And this is nothing to do with Team Beachbody, but that one conversation completely changed the direction of my life. He had no financial gain from it. He had a sense of purpose. The funny thing that I want you guys to understand is he connected with me on the level of we're of the same religion. And when I served my mission, it was in his country, his homeland in Venezuela. So he made that connection with me, and he had a purpose to help people be happy, to live a happier life. And so like I said, he made me some homemade Venezuelan food. I almost said the type of food, some Venezuelan food. He gave me a new shirt out of his closet. I remember it was yesterday. And he helped me find a new apartment and a new roommate. And I moved out of the place I was in. That started the transition of my life. And with that transition came a new job. Also came new roommates, and also came going with my new roommate to a concert, which was where I met my wife, Gabby. And then that happened. We had our first child on Medicaid. I was working as a dental lab technician just out of school. And I remember moving from Utah because I worked for this job for 2 years, and I became really good at what I do. Because like I said, when I decide to do something, I become good at it. And I told the boss, we had our baby on Medicare and government help. And I said, hey, I need some help, like maybe a small raise so I can get some insurance. I can't really pay the doctor bills. And he told me I wasn't worth it. So I just packed up and we moved to Idaho from Salt Lake City. We got new jobs, and that's where I was at when I was introduced to the next great coach in my life, who is also not a part of Team Beachbody. But I moved into this new house. I had this new job, and we were struggling financially. I want you guys to kind of understand how it was. I was working from 5 in the morning to 5 at night, not because I loved it, because there was overtime and I needed it. And my wife was working every night from 3 until 11 o'clock at night. So if you get that, I'm leaving at 5 in the morning, coming home at 5. She drops the kids off at the neighbors at 3. I pick them up at 5. I watch them, put them to bed at 8. She comes home at 11:30 at night. So I'm living like that, trying to raise these 2 little girls at the time. And I get this knock on my door. I have no friends because I'm at work from 5 to 5 every day. And on Saturdays, I'm at work 7 in the morning to 11. I get this knock, and there's this really jacked dude. He's like 6'3", 250 pounds, solid muscle, like his biceps bulging out of his shirt. And he's got this plate of brownies and this big smile. And he's like, hey, dude, My name's Kobe. I'm your neighbor. I just moved here from Utah, but I heard you were my age and you have a couple kids. I have a couple kids. I'm just trying to make friends because I'm new to Idaho. My wife and I made these brownies for you. And I was like, dude, come on in. And he came in, and it turns out he was from our church. It was like a secret thing to get me with the brownies to come back to church. But he came in, and I want you guys know exactly what I did. When I'm unhealthy and tired and exhausted and a little chubby, and there's an extremely jacked dude, what am I going to do? I'm going to ask him, how did you get so fit, man? And so he tells me, I played football for University of Utah. I'm the special teams coach for the high school team. I got transferred up here. I teach at the high school, and I'm the special teams coach. And I'm like, awesome. And I was like, how do I get fit like that? And he's like, well, I strength train all of the football players in the morning. And so I work out with them in the morning. And I'm like, awesome, dude. I'm so lazy and fat. I need some help, man. And he's like, hey, you know what? How about you come? I'll give you some ideas on what to eat. How about you come with me to the gym when I train the kids and you can train with us? And I was like, let's do it. And I was like, what time do we meet? And he said, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, and then that was the moment I was like, dang it. Like, I work at 5. I cannot go with you. So I asked him, like, what else, what other ideas do you have for me? And he said, you should try that P90X thing. So I looked up P90X. I got P90X. And remember, this is not a coach. But what did he do? He did exactly what every single one of us should do. He was an example of a healthy lifestyle. And he invited me to work out. He gave me a tool because I told him I needed help. He gave me a tool, which was P90X. And so I decided, like I said in the beginning, guys, when I commit to something, I give it everything I have. So I did P90X, and I went from 187 to 145 pounds in one round of P90X. I committed 100%. Felt amazing. Like, I started taking selfies, right, of my new abs that I never had. And I was excited and I was proud. And one of the things I want you guys to know, like, I've struggled with self-esteem my whole life. The reason I play guitar so well, the reason I snowboard so well, the reason I skate so well, the reason I draw so well, all of these things I did as a way to fill the gap of my low self-esteem, a way to be accepted, for people to say, I was always looking for ways to have that self-esteem filled, right? To feel like I was doing something that I mattered, that people noticed me. So people would say, like, I would do all those things so I could be accepted, right? Because I had that low self-esteem. So as I started doing P90X, people were sharing my results. They were talking about it, like, dude, you should see what Scottie did. And it just made me feel good. And it started to increase my self-esteem. And what I learned as I started to help people would ask me, just like Kobe told me, I was like, you should try P90X. And I was not a coach yet, right? But I was telling people what would work, and I felt good doing it. And as I continued to do that, I fell in love with that process. I was absolutely in love with it. I started a blog, which sucked tremendously. But I was trying to inspire people, trying to share what was working for me. And I fell in love with that process. And I did that process for about 8 months. And in that time, like, I remember one of my friends from my mission, he's like, Scottie, you talk about P90X every single day. You tell me how we used the word fussy back then. You're fussy, you're miserable at work. But every time you talk about P90X, it's this spark of happiness and joy that you have. Like, if you could just get paid to do P90X, that would be your ideal job. And I was like, that would be my ideal job. So I reached out to Men's Health magazine and some other things and tried to write them and ask them how I could get paid for talking about my transformation. And I wrote about 20 magazines, and I heard from 0 of them. So then because I'm continually researching and trying to figure out how to get paid for doing this thing I already love, I found P90X Transformation of Lindsay Matway on YouTube. And at the time, guys, she was a coach for 3 months. But I saw her transformation video, and I saw her talking about Beachbody, and I called her, or I reached out to her on email, and she called me. And she told me how she was leaving her full-time job, like she left her job of bartending, and that she was working on paying off the $200,000+ of debt she incurred from London's birth. And like, even though I didn't tell her at that time, like, that was my answer to the prayers, because I didn't love working 12 hours a day. I didn't love sending my wife. every day I sat in my office wondering how I was going to get out of that. How do I move up through the company? How do I start a business? How do I, all these different things were always on my mind to get out of that situation, and asking for, like, praying, right, for an answer. And when Lindsay said that, it was my answer. I didn't tell her it was my answer. I just told her, she said, I think you'd be a great part of this team. You have great results. You're already, you're a coach, but you're not getting paid for it, is basically what she was saying. And I told her, hey, you know what? Like, that sounds all awesome and whatnot, but I'm just going to keep helping people. Like, I'll just keep helping people no matter what. Like, I don't want to sign up for that. And then it took me 8 months after that conversation for me to sign up. Okay, I want you guys to understand that 8 months. And the reason is, and I tell people now, it was 8 months longer than I should have waited. And I let stupid fears and self-doubts hold me back. Things like, oh, I'm not as pretty as Lindsay. I don't have a YouTube channel. I only have 200 friends on Facebook. I don't have internet in my house. I don't have a smartphone. I don't have enough money to order Shakeology. I have to take all the overtime shifts already. How am I going to ever make time to actually be a great coach? Because I'm not going to start something that I'm not going to follow through with. So that all these stupid fears and doubts hold me back for 8 months. And it was on April 11th, 2011 that I woke up. I went to our little lockbox for our mail, and it was 18 days after the birth of my third daughter. We have 5 now, right? This is my third daughter. And I remember I always grabbed I ran the service department and the shipping department at my company at the time. And I remember I always grabbed the mail, and when I went into the morning to do shipping, I would just throw all the junk mail in the garbage there. And I would save my bills in my lunchbox. And I remember opening them, and it was the doctor bill, the hospital bill, the anesthesiologist bill. There was like a little ear doctor bill from the hospital. And I had this overwhelming sense of fear, of just overwhelming. Like, the best way to explain it is, like, have you ever felt like you had this tremendous pressure on your shoulders or on your body, and it feels like the world's spinning around you? Can I get like a nod if you felt like that before at any time? Or like you're laying in bed at night and you can't sleep even though you're exhausted, and it feels like the world's spinning, and no, it's not because you're drunk. The world's spinning because you're afraid. You have no control, right? And I had those feelings like at an overwhelming amount. Like, why am I even on this earth? Like, how? Like, I don't believe God put me here to suffer and feel like this every single day, to sit in this cubicle, to stress and worry about bills. And guys, at the time, my job every 2 weeks paid me $910 after taxes and 401k and insurance. Okay, $810 or $910, sorry, for a total of $1,820 a month. And my mortgage was $1,546. And my wife was not working because she's home for 3 weeks with the baby. So it was impossible to pay those doctor bills. So it was like that fear at that moment. I want you guys to understand my fear of failing as a coach, all those stupid those excuses I gave you about not having internet, not having time, not having a smartphone, not having a Facebook following, not having a YouTube channel, being shy, my past, all of those things. My fear of taking care of my family became greater. My fear failing as a team Beachbody coach. And that's the day. I didn't sign up online. I faxed in my application from my work, from my little fax machine in my office at work. I faxed it in, and I can tell you the moment that I sent that in, I have never felt that feeling ever since that day that I sent that application in. And it wasn't because I had any results with Beachbody, but it's because I knew that I had my answer. Like, I'd watched everybody be successful at it for the entire year that I did P90X and the entire 8 months that I watched Lindsay. I watched them like a hawk and watched what they did. So I knew it was possible for them, and I knew that nobody could work harder than me. And I kind of heard David talk about that on our call, but nobody could work harder than me. So I had my answer. So there was no need for me to live in that fear, because I knew that I had the answer and the tools. I just had to apply them to myself. So that day I decided that every single person that I met would hear my story about how hard life was, how my struggles, how they made me feel, and that I found an answer to them through P90X, Insanity, and Team Beachbody. And so that's why I'll tell every call and every person I talk to, just like I told you guys what I went through and how I felt, so that you guys can understand that this is your answer too. Like, if you can fall in love with that. And so the question is how come I've never missed Success Club? Or how come, it's Monday, I'm on we closed on a new home that we have on the vacation market, and I'm here with my wife, and she's actually driving to a massage right now. How come I'm on a call when I could be going to that massage with her right now? It's because I have a purpose. Like, I have a purpose with Team Beachbody or with my life that I found when I became a coach. And so that purpose is what pulls me through everything that's hard, or through all the, if I ever feel like slacking or slowing down, it's the purpose that pulls me through that. So if you're not consistent at something, or you're not happy doing something, maybe you're consistent but you're not happy doing it, it's because you're not truly dialed in with your purpose and what your calling is with that role. So my role as a Team Beachbody coach, my role and my purpose at that point became to help. It's basic to just understand who I am as a person, that I'm worth or worthy of happiness and joy and success and abundance in my life, and that I can use my past mistakes and failures and current mistakes and failures instead as a way to play a victim, as a way to teach somebody else how to overcome their trials in their life. And I feel that my purpose in life is, yes, to help people become the best, healthiest versions of themselves through drink and Shakeology and following the workout programs. But I also believe that my purpose is to reach out and find parents that know deep inside that there's a better way to live life. That there's, I want to help parents that want more time with their kids and less time at work or at a career. I want to help parents that feel like they have no sense of purpose, like they just wake up and they work and they go to sleep, and they wake up and they work and they go to sleep. I want to help those people that know they're meant for something greater find something that they're passionate about in their life. And I'll tell you one thing about it, guys. You got to be willing to help people whether they join you or not. For example, I'm helping this amazing band named I Exist. They've never bought anything from me, but I reach out to them every single week, and they're making videos and they're doing live video streams of them writing music, and they have this bigger purpose of involving people in their music making process. And I help them do that, and they're not a part of Team Beachbody because I want to help them create their dreams with music and make a difference in other people's lives. So you got to be willing to help people no matter what. And when you help and serve enough people, you can't go in with the intention of this, but I'll tell you what happens with it. If I'm helping these guys achieve all of this and people ask them how they achieved what they achieved, they're going to ask them who helped them do that. How did they get to that point? And they're going to refer people back to me. They're going to say, talk to Scottie. He's the one that got us to go after our dreams. He's the one that helped us see the bigger picture of what we were capable of. So when you are dialed in on your purpose like that, you're going to be able to stay more consistent. So I don't want to just give you a bunch of fluff about being consistent or about finding your purpose and being consistent. I want to give you some actual action steps to be able to do that, to be able to dial that in. And here they are. I want you to write these down. I want to see I want us to be totally self-aware. Raise your hand if you have not been consistent in your business or your transformation. Okay. That's about the number I thought I'd see, because I see it all the time. So if you want to take it to the next level and be in the 10,000 weekly PV thing like David's talking about, you've got to be consistent. Okay. Number one, this is kind of like a 5-step question that you can ask yourself or to fill out to discover and really decide and know what your purpose is. Number one, who are you? I want you to write these down. Number one, who are you? Number two, what do you love to do? And if anyone misses it, I'll write it out for David and send it over. What do you love to do? Number three, who do you do it for? Number four, what do these people want and need? Number five, how do they change or transform as a result of what you give them? So I'm going to give you guys an idea real quick. So this is something that I say out loud to myself every single day. And this is a whole different topic. But every morning I state out loud my goals. I read out loud my purpose. And I visualize and feel what my goals are going to be like to achieve. So here is my purpose. So you guys have those 5 questions. And if you missed them, someone could type them in the chat box, or I'll send them out to David. But here's mine so you can get an idea. And remember, the only way to truly become the best version of yourself is not to try to be David, not to try to be Lindsay Matway, not to try to be Scottie Hobbs, but to discover and become the best version of yourself. That's when you're going to attract more people like you into your life. If you try to be like David, you're going to be so lost and confused, and you're not going to have any sense of direction in your life because you're not true to you and who you are and who you're supposed to be. So here's me. I'm Scottie Hobbs. You know, I'm a husband and father of 5 beautiful children and the husband to Gabby. I love the outdoors. I love playing guitar. I'm an entrepreneur who invests in people. I also invest in myself. I love personal growth, health, and fitness. I love to serve people. I love helping people overcome their fears and obstacles. I call it facing your grizzly. I love teaching them how to use their personal life story and experiences to help them and others believe in themselves and find more happiness, joy, and purpose in life. I help fathers and mothers who know deep inside that there's a better way to live life and provide for their families. I do it so that children can grow up knowing their parents, and so that these parents can be great role models to their children. These parents need more positive relationships and role models in their lives. They need people who support them in going after their dreams, love them for being vulnerable about who they are, and who encourage them to face their fears. They need a way to get out of debt, build their retirement, work less overtime, and have more time freedom to spend with their family and their loved ones. They want more time with their family, and they want less time at work. When they embrace this way of life that I teach them, they can find a sense of purpose. They find happiness, enjoying everyday encounters with their life. They feel like they finally matter. They become victors rather than victims. They become healthy, fit, and vibrant, and bring a spirit of joy, hope, and positivity to this world. They find a positive channel to funnel their energies and share their story and message, which makes a real difference in this world. They're then able to create a life by design, which means they become the CEO or the owners of their own life. When this happens, they're able to reach and impact more people on a bigger level and spend time with those people who matter most. Okay, guys, that is my purpose. So can you guys see why I worked an hour on Saturday and an hour on Sunday? Right? My kids aren't here. I'm with my wife. I'm sitting on the rooftop terrace with the red rocks and the sunset. Like, I can't just sit here for like 5 hours doing nothing. Like, I have this deep desire to help everybody in that way that I just shared with you. And I can't do it if I'm not on my laptop writing people messages and finding out if they're happy or not, if they're struggling with something or not. I can't find them if I'm not making videos that they might happen to find. I can't find them if I'm not writing a Facebook post, trying to teach and inspire and help somebody through a problem that maybe I've overcome and want to help them with. So it's like creating a life that you don't have to escape from, right? Like right now, like, yes, Gabby's at a massage and yes, I want to do one, but I'm going to go do that at 5. But right now, like, I don't want to just, like, this is something I hate, and now I'm kind of going off. If I don't want to, like, I hear people say all the time, if just one person hears this message and change my life and change their life, I'm going to be happy. Screw that. There's hundreds of thousands of people out there that need to change their life and that deserve more happiness, abundance, more time with their family. And they're not going to know that they have an answer or that I have an answer for them unless I get loud about it. So does that make sense, guys? They're not going to know unless I get loud about it. So here's the thing that I want to talk to you guys about when you guys hear that. Because I know this is a fear, and I told you guys that a lot of people, one thing I like to do is help people overcome their fear. And so here's kind of what I want you guys to understand about me, right? And then I'm going to go into a final thing. So I'm kind of all over the place, but we're on this point of consistency, and consistency happens when you know your purpose. Here's the thing that I want you guys to know about me, and so that you can understand and embrace about yourself. Like I said, my life purpose is to continually grow myself and to plant seeds of personal growth in every single person that I come in contact with. I added 3 new friends on Facebook today from the hot tub because my intention is to get to know people, to be interested in their lives and find out about them, to find out if I have something that I can help them with. Never with the intention to get a Success Club point or to recruit a coach. Here's the thing though, guys. You can see it right here. Can you see it? I have a bald spot though. I wear my hair in a mohawk at 34 years old. I play rock music. I'm a dad of 5. I'm a husband to the most beautiful girl in the world. I teach the 14-year-old kids at church. I teach them a Sunday school class. I hunt. I fish. 95% of the time I carry a gun on my hip. I do public speaking. I love to be alone and sit on the rooftop by myself. I have shirtless pictures on the internet. I'm a Mormon. I sell products that improve people's appearances, and some people may look at that as being vain. I don't fit into the role or the cookie cutter description of what a religious father is. But I was reading this story, guys, about a nurse who was taking care of hundreds of people as they lie on their deathbeds. And she always asked them what their number one regret was. And I really want you to think about and analyze your life. And if you don't right now, I want you to spend some time tonight or tomorrow morning to really think about your life and how short it is. And this is what this nurse said. She said, the majority of these people said, I wish I had been true. And this is a quote right here. I wish that I had been true to who I was and not just lived to meet the expectations of others. Now, guys, when I read that, I think to myself, am I living my life to meet the expectations of my cousin or my neighbor or my parents, right? Am I living my life every single day trying to be the best me, or am I working hard to please other people and fit into the mold of what they think I should be? How many of us today are not being true to who we really are in a fear that we might disappoint somebody? Like, I don't believe that we can find our true life's purpose and live our life's purpose or live the life that God wants for us if we're trying to be the person that our parents want us to be, that our boss wants us to be, that our friends want us to be. So the thing that is that we got to be true to who God made us to be. I believe that God called each and every one of us to this life, to live our own unique purpose. And our own unique purpose, each of it is unique. It's so unique that it's like anybody else in this life. And if you let somebody else, myself or David, or your upline coach, or your neighbor, or your spouse, or your husband, or your boyfriend, or your cousin, try to define who you are and what your reality is, or you try to please every critic that you have in your life, this will take away from your uniqueness and keep you from being really who you are. If you can just stay like dialed in on your purpose with these 5 things I gave you, right? If you can stay true to who you are and what God's placed in your heart, this goal or that dream. I don't believe God ever placed a goal or a dream in anybody's heart without having a way somehow for you to achieve that and live that in your life. So if you can stay true to that, stay committed to that, stay dialed in to that, and stay focused on that every single day, and stand up for what you believe in and stand up for who you think you are, God or the universe, whatever it is you believe in, will help you excel in that. And here's the thing, guys. You're going to lose some friends early on and some people who fully don't understand about you, and they don't want to take your advice. But everybody's going to have an opinion about you and how you should live your life, how you should pay your bills, what you should do for your career, how you should raise your kids. They're going to tell you everything about how you should live your life. And a lot of them, well, maybe a lot of them, some of them are going to talk about you behind your back to others. They're going to share opinions about you, what you should wear, what you should drive, how you should spend your money, what you should do for work, what music you should listen to, how you should raise your kids. They're going to have all of these opinions about your life. So don't waste your time trying to please everybody, because if you do that, you're going to be lost, confused, and not dialed in on your purpose. You're going to end up super frustrated, and your life is going to be miserable. You're not ever going to find real, true happiness and joy. So as you step into this new role, as you write this out and really discover through these 5 questions who you are and figure out who that is that you are, God will really begin to bless your life and help you excel in areas of your purpose. Some people, guys, that I want you guys to understand, are never going to accept that. They're never going to accept that, and they're going to try to squeeze you into that mold of what they think you should be. Don't let them. Don't let them do that. Everybody has a right to an opinion, but their opinion does not define your reality. Love them anyway. Like there's not one person that I hate or don't try to share love towards. Some people will never accept your role and your purpose. Love them anyway, but don't waste your time trying to prove to them what you're doing with your life is what you're supposed to be doing and what you're called to be doing. Don't let their issues ruin your life. What my suggestion would be as you discover what your purpose is encourage them, pray for them, but don't let them keep you from your destiny and your purpose in this life. So what I want you to think about, and write this question down if you have to or if you need to, is there somebody in your life that you're allowing to control you or make you feel guilty if you don't live up to their expectations? So write that down. Think about that question. Is there somebody that you're allowing to keep you from your destiny and your purpose? And then here's the thing, guys. I'm not saying you have to don't make them your enemy. Don't hate them, but cut the puppet strings that they're controlling your life with and set some boundaries for yourself. Don't miss out on your destiny. This life is so short. And the last thing I want for any of you guys is to live your life and get to the end and have regrets that you didn't give everything that you had in this life to improve yourself and to go after your destiny and your purpose. So don't miss your destiny trying to please everybody else in this life. So I'm trying not to read the chat because if I do that, I get a little distracted. So I'll read that at the very end. So I really want you guys to think about that, guys. I had puppet strings I had to cut. Like I worked I ran the service department. I ran, as I decided my destiny, right, my purpose, and I got dialed in on that, which I shared with you guys. It's Success Club 10 every month. I'm never going to miss that. I'm helping 5 people get started on their journey every single month. But there were people in the beginning I had to cut the strings from. My manager, like I had to go to the owner of my company and release myself from my job to go into a different department because they were trying to control my life and who I should be, because they weren't happy with me wanting to be a Beachbody coach and talking about one day being full-time at it. So I had to cut some puppet strings, right? Because they thought that I should continue in what I was doing with that company and not be going after what I wanted. So once you figure out this purpose, and then we'll end this out because I don't want to go over an hour because I could go like 5 hours, guys. What I want you guys to know is after you write out and define your purpose, one thing I want you guys to know is you've got to always set goals, right? My first goal was bring my wife home. Bring my wife home. I tied meaning to it. So you always got to have it. Once you hit a goal, you got to set the next goal so you can always challenge yourself and grow yourself. Next goal for me, for example, was bring myself home. Next goal was that thing that caused me all that anxiety when I couldn't sleep at night, my mortgage. Next goal, pay the mortgage off, right? Next goal, what else do I want in my life? Pay off the mortgage. I want a vacation home that I can spend time with my family. Write the goal, tie meaning to it, tie emotion to it, do it, right? Next goal, my parents gave me everything in this life and taught me helped me become the person that I am, that helped me become this coach that I am through the life lessons they taught me. So I wanted them to be free from their jobs. I didn't want them to wait 6, 7, 8 more years till they could retire from their jobs. So I wanted to retire them. So I tied meaning to that, set that goal. So I'm always doing goals. Like this home we're in right now, we bought this vacation home. It's on a rental market with Utah's best vacation rental. We want to, for example, create like a bigger goal. We want to have 5 vacation homes that are completely paid for in 10 years that make income, that as we teach our kids personal development, health, fitness, entrepreneurship, that if they live to those standards and work hard, that we could transfer over an entire vacation rental business to them when they're 18 years old, if they are working hard for it, right? If they're doing the things that we teach them. So that's a bigger goal, looking far in the future, right? So it's important that you always set a goal that's going to challenge you to get to the next level. But then once you decide that, you set your goals, you have your purpose first and foremost, you got to get real with yourself, because nobody, like, it's cool that this business, you guys have people like David that want you to be successful, right? And he's pouring his energy and his time and his training into you. I mean, you can get that from me, but realistically, guys, you can get all of that from YouTube without having a sponsor coach, just like David said. So like, first of all, you got to be blessed, like realize what you have, that you have somebody that's trying to teach you. Because most businesses, like I've been around, I try to get around business owners, and I'll talk to you about that on my last takeaway. Like I'm around people that have private jets, that have charities for cancer organizations. Like I'm trying to hang out with these people, and I hear about people that lose sell companies for $20 million and how they lost 10 million investing in startups. Like, I'm trying to learn all these things so I don't make mistakes in my life in the future. But one thing I know about every single one of them is they have to work their butts off. And they look at me when I tell them, like, what I do as a coach, they say, you have that type of income, like just helping people with health and fitness with no, like, you're trying to tell me, like when I'm applying for loans, right? And they're just like, you don't have any business fees? Like, you pay $15.95 for that $1 million a year business? Like, that's ridiculous. Like, we have so much overhead and so many employees and we got to carry so much product. So, like, understand that too. Like, if you're complaining that your business is hard, which is just talking to people on Facebook, you need to have a reality check. If you want a big business, like, look at what real business owners go through to create a profit. And then you'll start to really realize how blessed you are with that, first of all. So that's my little entrepreneur speech for you real fast. So I think about that too. It's always perspective, guys. So what I want you to take away, now you got to set some goals for yourself, set the big goal, set the vision for your life, set little landmark goals that you can hit along the way, which are Success Club guys, and then give yourself little rewards, along the way. But here's 5 questions because like I said, you are blessed that you have national wake-up calls, you got training calls, you got this call from me, you got calls from David. But there's 5 questions that you got to ask yourself every single day if you want to be successful. Okay? And the one thing, actually I'm going to give you 6. I'm going to give you 1 separate, and then I'm going to give you these 5. If you could look yourself in the mirror every day at the end of the day and say, if my coaches and my team or my future team did exactly what I did today with the mindset that I did it, would they be successful? Would they be happy? And would they be successful? Okay? If the answer is no, you got to change. If the answer is no, you got to change. Okay? So here's the 5 questions. Number 1, what is your why? What's your reason? What's your purpose? All 3 of those together. What's your why, reason, purpose? Number 2, write these down. I want a little note card next to your bed so that you can read them right before you go to bed. So you can remind yourself so that you wake up on the right mindset. Number 2, what is your IQ level? And this is a trick question. Because my IQ is not very high. I dropped out of college. Okay, IQ level. What is your I quit level? At what point of difficulty in your business do you say, screw it. Like, I really didn't want to live this life of purpose. I really didn't want to bring my wife home. Like, I guess that was silly of me to think that, right? At what level do you just give up and say, nah, that why is not important enough to me? And guys, if you have a quit level, then you might as well quit now. Sorry, David, for saying that. But my point there is you've got to get in the mindset, like, I won't quit. Like, the only way for me to get good at that pinball machine is to never stop playing it. Like, I'll get good eventually if I keep playing it. If I want to get good at guitar, all I got to do is I got to show up and play it every day, and eventually I'll be good at it. Some people can start a band and have an album in a year. It took me 20 years, right? I had a no quit level on becoming a rock star with an album, right? And it took me 20 years. So you got to, like, at no level. I could tell you right now, I could lose my team of 45,000 people. And tomorrow I would wake up as if I still had it, and I would work just as hard as I did my first day and just as hard as I did yesterday. If it all disappeared, I would still wake up tomorrow, and my goal would be to help and find parents, help them become healthier, help them believe in themselves, help them overcome fears, help them know how they can spend more time with their family and less time at work. So so ask yourself, what is my IQ level? So every night you can make sure that you are at a no quit level in your mind. Number 3, who do I need to associate with today to grow? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. If the 5 people you hang out with are not as far as you are in your life, you're in the wrong place. Like, yes, you got to be around some of those people so you can help them, but you got to be around people that elevate and lift you. Like, I call Barbie, Kalev, and Sagi every day, like at once every week, because they're further ahead in life than me. And I talk to the owner of Utah's Best Vacation Rentals once a week because he owns 4 businesses. and he's accomplished more in life than me. So you've got to associate yourself with people that'll help you grow. Because I'll tell you what, guys, like I thought I was doing some amazing things with my business. You know, Success Club 10 All-Star Legend, all these accolades, Millionaire Club. And then I hear about people, then I go to a charity event and people are donating 10 four-wheelers for a charity. I'm like, oh, shoot. Like there's a lot more to gain and to give. I'm hearing about people selling companies for 20 million and then that company I have doesn't seem so big anymore. Like it helps expand your horizons of what's possible, right? So be around other people so that you can grow. Number 4, what am I willing to sacrifice? And David, no, you guys, I'm not even going to go into detail on this. You can watch my things you have to sacrifice to make a full-time income. Just go to my YouTube channel. It's on the home page. You can watch that video if you haven't watched it yet. But what do I have to sacrifice? But one thing I didn't mention on this video that I mentioned when I was talking to you guys about really dialing in on your potential and your God-given purpose is that one of the things you got to sacrifice is the social acceptance of ignorant people. Okay, like I talk about sacrifice of time, of things that you love, like softball, video games, TV shows, The Bachelorette, whatever it is that you're watching. When you tell me that you hate your job, but you're watching The Bachelorette, right? You got to sacrifice those things. But the one thing I don't mention in that video is the social acceptance of ignorant people. So people that aren't even willing to look at something that can improve their life. And they're ignorant and will think that you're stupid or silly for doing what you're doing, right? So you got to sacrifice that acceptance. And that was hard for me because my love language is words of affirmation. And my whole life I struggle with self-esteem. For somebody not to accept what I do is a hard thing, right? So I have to sacrifice acceptance from them, like social acceptance from those people. And then I can love like hell on the people that enjoy what we do and celebrate and be grateful for that. Okay, and then that last one, because we're at the end, is who. All these are my favorite. This is my favorite one. Who is counting on me, on you, to make this happen? Remember, so put this next to your bed so you can read it every night. Guys, I made a visual for this of my daughter when she was 4. I was a brand new coach. I was exhausted. Every night I was working, just like David is kind of. I was working 8 to midnight and getting up at 3 o'clock to go to do my P90X and go to my stupid job. And I made a picture so I could remember. It was on my screensaver on my phone. It was on my computer. It was printed out. And it was my daughter. I helped her make it. It was a heart. We cut out a heart. And it said, "Don't give up, Daddy." And I had my daughter hold the heart out like this with her face behind it. And I took a picture. So I have my daughter holding this big heart that says, "Don't give up, Daddy." And I looked at every time that I thought it was hard, or a coach quit, or someone canceled, or someone wrote something mean on my post, or wrote me a nasty private message. I would look at that picture that said, "Don't quit, Daddy." And I decided, it goes back to the I quit level, I'll never quit. But it also was that reminder that my family is counting on me to make this happen. Like my marriage and my family is counting on this. Like my kids will never see my wife and I together raising the family if I don't make this happen. Because I don't foresee in the future any way that I'm leaving this job and getting her out of working nights. We're always going to work separate shifts if I don't make this happen. So who's counting on me? My family. So you need to find out who's counting on you to make this happen. And guys, if you quit on your goals, it's selfish. You're only selfish if you quit on your goals. And I know that comes a little bit from Inky Johnson or Eric Thomas. I can't remember which one says that. But it truly is, because think about it. Like let's say I were to quit and do something else. I have a team of 45,000 people that are counting on me. Now, even if you're a brand new Emerald and you have 2 people, if you quit, not only for your own goals, like mine is, I'm not for my family, right? But if I quit on those 2 coaches, like that's selfish, because I planted belief and hope into those 2 coaches, and then I quit because it's hard on me. Like that pisses me off. That makes me so mad when people do that. I'll forgive you if you've done that and you want to pick back up and get back on track. But like, think about who is counting on you. Like every single person like there could be hundreds of people in my pipeline of future coaches, right, that have watched my videos, sparked a sense of hope in them. It's planted the seed. They're working on their transformation, and one day they're going to be ready to join my team. Like if I quit, they're counting on me to be there when they're ready, when they overcome their fear. Just like Lindsay, right? What if Lindsay would have quit when she got on the phone with me 3 months as a coach and said, join my team. We're going to make one of the biggest, best teams in Beachbody. We're the Bombshell Dynasty. We're a family, right? And then I didn't join her team. What would have happened if 8 months later I went to join and I saw Lindsay quit? I might not be here. All 45,000 of those coaches might not have been here because I would have been like, maybe it doesn't work because Lindsay quit, right? So like think about the number of people that you've reached out to, that you've talked to, the seeds that you've planted. It's not just like who's counting on you, like your family, like your family's counting on you. I tell my coaches, you got to work on this like your life depends on it, because it does. Your life depends on it. Your happiness depends on you doing something that you truly love. And I've seen too many times where somebody gets let off from their job and they're like, they've been a coach for 3 years and done nothing. And they're like, Scottie, I wish I would, like I've seen people around me do, I wish I would have just done the 4 vital behaviors for 4 years. I wouldn't be in such a hard place today when I left my job, right? So like your life is counting on it. Like this is a way for you to have complete control of your life. And here's the cool thing, a bigger picture I want you guys to think of. Like, just so you can kind of see a bigger picture, like work on yourself, develop your skills, develop the belief in yourself, develop the skills of marketing, of connecting with people, of leading with people. Guys, I didn't even know this, but the leader of my church, the bishop of my church, I knew he owned 17 gas stations and a Hilton, but he's the CEO of a network marketing company that's another company. I didn't know that. He said he doesn't talk about recruiting within the church because he wants to keep a balance in that. But so I didn't know he had that. And I was talking to him about my business and expanding my business. And like he offered me basically $250,000. This is when I was making like $50,000 a year with Beachbody. He offered me $250,000 a year salary to be like a regional sales director for his network marketing company, just because of the skills that I learned as a coach for applying myself in the first 14 months as hard as I could. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like as you build the skills in this, you can go do whatever it is you want in your life. You'll never, ever have to worry again about what you're going to do for work or income in the future if you build the skills that David's teaching you and that are taught on every national wake-up call. So I gave you guys a lot of activities today, and I'll let you guys go, but to dial in, you got to discover your purpose. That's going to keep you committed. You got 5 questions to do that. And then you got also 5 questions to ask yourself every single night so that you make sure that if you get in your bed at 10:30 and you ask yourself those questions and you didn't do it, like you better stay up another hour and make sure that you do it like your 4 vital behaviors so that your coaches, so you can look at yourself and say, if my coaches did what I did today, they would be successful. So that's what's going to take you to the next level. Being dialed in on that purpose is going to keep you consistent over time. Love you guys, and thank you, David.
Thank you, Scottie. Team number 1, nobody has to do personal development today, all right? You don't have to do it. Scottie just gave us amazing. I don't need to do it. I'm listening to 10X by Grant Cardone, and I'm done. I don't need to plug in tonight when I'm cleaning dishes like I normally do. So, Scottie, thank you. Why we love you so much. Guys, amazing, amazing call. I know my wife it was coming up as David Atkins. She was saying, my daughters are still asking for a twisty slide in the house after that video with your other summer home. But Scottie, thank you. I don't even want to keep you anymore. I know time is tight. I know you're going to get a massage. I know the comments, the texts that I'm getting on my phone's blowing up. So I didn't want to keep you. But hey, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you at Summit, and being a speaker and to be there this year, do what you did. And Scottie, I just appreciate everything you do. Somebody I followed. And you know what? I may not be here. These coaches may not be here if it wasn't for you. And my wife can vouch for that because I followed you when I didn't have anybody and my people quit. So thank you for doing what you do. And thank Gabby for doing and you being here and her allowing you to be here. And just thank you so much. So I appreciate it. And otherwise, guys, we're going to go. I know some of you guys have families, things going on. Scottie, thank you. And we'll talk soon.
All right. See you guys. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.